Okay. Okay. It has a lot of torque, actually. Holy shit. It just kicks itself into a wheelie. Okay, wait. I don't have a helmet on.
I've been relatively uncomfortable on the majority of these e-bikes I've tested, and this was no exception. But instead of the discomfort coming from a rigid, suspensionless frame with unpredictable acceleration, oval-shaped wheels, and garbage brakes, the Tuttio Soleil01, which needs to be renamed, I hate everything about this name, was different. It was the first e-bike where I felt its abilities overshadowed my own. After about a half hour, I gradually found my bearings and decided to try and start sending it.
I'm basically just holding on for dear life and just mashing the throttle. But, I mean, there's no clutch, so I didn't have to learn how to shift on it. It's just, there's so much torque on it. I mean, the one nice thing is it's really quiet. Like, imagine this had a motor just blasting noise, or an engine blasting noise. Nope, nice and peaceful. However, it is way louder than the other e-bikes. It's just that exposed chain is just like ripping away. This is very cool. I mean, sure, this bike, you can't get away with doing stuff like in city or on trail, but you definitely could not get away with doing this on a regular dirt bike. It would be so loud. People would definitely hear. This, however, is pretty silent, all things considered. Oh, here we go. Glad I'm not like outrunning something. This is like the bike equivalent from running from a monster in your dream. Oh my god, it is so filthy.
Oh, also, I did not enjoy assembling this bike. I discovered it was not only missing fender screws, but the little twisty thing that like makes it like move was broken on arrival. The screw that keeps it to the frame essentially snapped, and unlike some of the other e-bikes like the Dinigo Commute, which it would be really funny if these are actually from the same factory, just different brand names, because a lot of the bikes are actually from the same seller. But I feel like proof that they're not the same company is that Tuttio immediately fixed their mistake and sent me the missing and replacement parts. Though I will say, they originally tried to kind of convince me into believing that the twist throttle was supposed to be broken off. Anyway, either way, it's fixed now, and we're back on the road. Or, like, off the road, I guess. It's really fun off-road.
Oh, we just feel like, I mean, there's a swamp right there. Oh. Okay. I have no idea where this goes. I don't know where I am. I'm on the side of a highway.
The way the Soleil looks, feels, and moves is a completely unique experience from anything I've been on before. That's partly just because I've never actually been on a dirt bike or mini bike, just ever, but it's also because this is an e-bike that feels out of left field. Most e-bikes are designed to get you from point A to point B with long distance pedal assist, cargo space, and fluffy features like push to start and a fancy screen, all while adhering to US and European bike laws. Even the Happy Run G100, which I really do love riding, decided to include pedals, lights, turn signals, storage, reflectors, a full color display, and a lot of unique styling choices with 5 to 10 different riding modes on these different bikes, depending on the model, to ensure it's full of features and mostly legal to be on the road. This bike, however, has no pedals, no storage, no lights, not even reflectors. The screen is just a basic display that shows your speed, your voltage, and your trip, and it just has a single button on it. I personally love how stripped down this is. There's no fluff or fake carbon fiber pieces. It's just a frame with a seat, battery, motor, and a hole to stick the key in. You twist the key, you twist the throttle, and you're off.
All right, let's just full throttle it, see how fast we can go. All right.
Now, I'm no expert on this kind of thing. I just really like stuff with wheels. But my first impression is this company put their focus into the torque, the suspension, the tires, and the stopping power. This bike took me to more places more comfortably and more confidently than pretty much any vehicle before. As an example, the top speed across most e-bikes is similar once you unlock the motor, between 28 and 38 miles an hour, and this one's no exception at the higher end of 56 kilometers an hour, which is about 35. The key difference though, is I pull the brakes on this bike and it actually stops, like really well, which I would argue isn't much to ask for in a product that goes almost 40 miles an hour, but you'd be surprised. When I initially received this, it was sold as a pit bike on the site, but now it's advertised as a mini bike. And either way, it is definitely small, which works for me. It actually is kind of like surprisingly herp size. Plus, it's relatively lightweight at 105 pounds, and probably easier to maneuver and transport than an actual full-size dirt bike. And it is advertised for adult riders up to 6'2", but it is kind of hilariously small.
What an experience. Okay, the battery's officially down by 25%. It was taking forever. I went 8.5 kilometers on 25%, and I've been full throttle, like, as much as possible. It just when I don't feel terrified for my life. 5 miles, so you can get 20 miles on this riding the way I'm riding. That seems really good, I think. I mean, the battery is just this block, and that little thing brings you 20 miles. Imagine just bringing a second one of these with you. Either way though, 20 miles, I'm not gonna ride this 20 miles today. I'm impressed by this. I am so pleased. This is of course not for everyone. I don't know how many of anyone watching this would even consider this bike, but it's cool.
There is one issue though, which is that nothing about this is legal, and I don't know where to ride it. If someone had snitched on me while shooting this video, I'd have to explain why I'm riding an unregistered motorcycle without a license on restricted property. What really helps is that it's electric, and so it's way quieter. But on the flip side, funnily, it is by far the loudest electric vehicle I've ever been on. What else is pretty wild to me is I had the most fun on the cheapest e-bike I've gotten so far.
I'm like half throttle. I'm going 40 kilometers, I don't know what that is in miles.
This one is about $1,300 before discounts, which isn't exactly a small amount of money, but in today's current e-bike market, I have to say that it's a very fair price, especially compared to the competitors out there. I rode this for about 2 hours on every terrain I could find, and I was kind of freezing because I did not dress properly, plus I got covered in mud. Honestly, I watched a few other reviews of this bike and everyone seems to just ride it on pavement, which is incredibly boring. This is clearly made to do just about anything but pavement. I mean, it did fine on pavement, but it's fun. I think that's the most important part, is this is fun.
This is the coolest bike I've gotten since, by far. But sadly, it's I can do the least with it.
I want to ride this a lot more, and I don't know how to get away with riding this. I don't know where to take it. I don't have dirt bike trails around me. I don't have that much property. It's the first e-bike I've received where I park it in my garage, and instead of just forgetting it's there and not being able to fit my cars in the garage, I'm actively thinking about riding it again. Now, unfortunately, the longevity of this bike isn't something that I can really share yet or guarantee. So if longevity of like how the battery's gonna hold up and how the range is and how the components hold up, you'll probably just have to wait until I get more experience and more miles on this bike. The company actually sells individual batteries for this bike, which not every company does.
Oh shoot.
But the battery itself is half the price of the entire e-bike at $600. Though it would be, it would be pretty cool to just get a second one and throw it in a backpack or something as a backup, or just to double my range.
So I've never been on a dirt bike. I've never been on a motorized pit bike or anything, so I can't compare it, but I feel like this suspension, that seems really good. Like, I haven't gotten my butt hurt once, and I haven't even like stood up. I just put all my weight on.
I also have no idea how to maintain an e-bike, so speaking of like longevity, I should probably try and clean all the mud off of it, or and like, I don't know, add lubricant or oil or something to the chain. I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna damage the components if I hit it with water. So either way, this is where I ask you to kind of come in and help me out, because I don't know what to do to keep this bike running as long as possible. Now, currently the battery seems to have extremely good range, like it was way better than I expected, but I have no idea how long this battery will last itself.
Whoa, whoa. That would have thrown me off. Let's get a word in for my balls. They're a little bit squished. I feel like that's an important part of the review, is the nut review, because I've covered that with all the e-bikes. Okay, so this is full throttle in mode 1. It's just mode 2 to mode 3. It's so different. It's crazy. I feel like there should be 4 modes. I feel like it's missing a mode in between 2 and 3. Ugh. Ugh. This is not a utility bike. This is not a cargo bike. This is not a commuter bike. This is just fun. It's only designed to be fun. Physically, it's by far the smallest. Common short guy W. I am 5'5", and it feels like the size of this was formulated just for me. It's so teeny tiny, I can just climb right over, no problem. I can stand up. So if you're like 6 foot, I don't know, you're gonna look like you're on a kid's toy. Look at how bare bones this is. I like this. There isn't much there. Oh, I forgot. These wires get pinched. I don't like the way these orange wires are being pinched by the body. They're only being pinched a little bit, but that just doesn't seem safe to have a wire being pinched. It's so peaceful out here.
So I would say my biggest hesitation with recommending the bike so far is simply because I don't know what the future holds for it. I don't know if in a month or a year or 5 years, it'll still be running as great as it is today. So if longevity, understandably, is something you care about, you might have to wait till I put more miles and a little bit more time into this bike before you pull the trigger yourself. Who knows how long the motor will last or if it's easy to replace. I also just don't know anything about e-bikes, so I'm probably the wrong person to ask. I just can't emphasize enough, I love riding stuff like this, but I have no idea what I'm doing.
So I don't know the limits of pit bikes because I just lost traction and I recovered. I don't know if you could tell, but my wheel just, yeah.
And after watching other videos on it, it seems like this might also be an e-bike that can be used as a starting point to modify yourself. Maybe not only make changes or repairs, but actually modify it to, I don't know, be more capable. But that's a whole separate topic that I am not getting into just yet. Either way, I feel like this bike is actually worth the price it's being sold for. And if you haven't seen my other videos, it's not like I'm telling you to go out and buy all these e-bikes I review. If it seems of interest to you, if it fits within your budget, and if longevity is something that you can risk, since I can't guarantee what that looks like for this bike. So yes, that's a lot of ifs, but I don't want to have like viewers going out and dropping over $1,000 on a really fun toy that has no warranty and is being sold by a company overseas. It is a bit riskier. I guess higher risk, higher reward, because it is cheaper than stuff you can buy domestically.
As you can see, this is actually a closed trail, which means no one else is going to be on it, so that's cool. Oh, can we make it up this? Oh shoot, maybe. A little hill climb. Yeah, this is just, I don't know, some sort of government project. How perfect is it that this trail's closed? I'm not going to be bothered? Yeah, I would definitely get the cops called on me if people are paying attention.
Now, it's not that all the other bikes were awful that I've tested. I really did like a lot of them, and it's clear they put a lot of effort into trying to make a good product. But personally, I just kept finding that the cons outweigh the pros the majority of the time. Most simply being the price of these bikes. Yeah, a lot of them are fine. They would be great for having some fun or commuting, or in my case, like taking it to the beach, but it's a lot of money. I'm glad this one's cheaper. And I would say it's not perfect either. I don't like that it arrived with missing screws. That's just not very confidence inspiring. I don't like the assembly process, but that's not the bike's fault per se. That's just me being terrible at putting them together. And I do worry about getting repairs as well as how the battery is gonna hold up. And most importantly in this bike, I worry about getting caught and getting in legal trouble because I'm gonna be taking this to places that it probably shouldn't be going. However, I must say I had fun on it, and I can't wait to ride it again. I would give it a very satisfactory first impression, and if you like what you see, I'll include my affiliate link below so you can pick one up yourself. And if you enjoyed this video, I'll include a couple of my other series that you might like as well.
Oh, I hear construction. All right, we'll have to turn around soon because there's construction up ahead. It's crazy. This is not exactly a short bit of the trip, but we just sped down it. Because yeah, it's the same speed as the other e-bikes, but I don't have the confidence to on a little brittle, rigid, regular e-bike. I can't be going 35 miles an hour off-road on that. So this is such a different experience. This is unlike any of the others. Okay, so around 45 kilometers, I lose traction on this soft stuff. Oh, I am a mess. Oh. Didn't mean to disrupt the birds. What a bike.